Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Gore Clown Shop.
Do you love all things horror? Books? Movies? Podcasts? Of course you do. Well, come on down to goreclown.com.
Original artwork by an indie horror fan for indie horror fans.
Use code SLEEPOVER at checkout to save 15% on your whole purchase.
Oh, and did we mention? Gore Clown is the only place to get official Spoiler Sleepover merch.
So don't forget to use Sleepover to save 15%.
Stay indie, suckers!
Greetings, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends. Welcome to Spoiler Sleepover, part of the Nerdcat Network. Join your hosts, Jason, Michael, and Rob, as they bring you on a slash-tastic adventure through cinema. Now, enjoy the show. It will be a real scream of a time.
Well, Rob,
Yeah.
and our ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to the final wrap-up episode of Season 2, the slime season here at Spoiler Sleepover. We've had a catalog which has been going on now. This season has been going on for over a year.
Yep.
We've talked about our top 3 movies or franchises of all time. We've also, because we have other things going on in life, like vacations, very necessary engagement trips. Ooh, you got engaged this season, buddy.
Sure did.
Holy shit. And, summer and all that. We've had other things, like we've had guests. We've had people come on. We invented a new thing of February with Friends. So thank you, Kristen and Christine, for coming out and talking with our first February with Friends. We also had the start of our Winter Horrorland as we just wrapped up our second one, which honestly, I think I liked our second one a lot more than our first one, personally, because it had Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was fun. I think also we enjoyed a majority of what we did for this Winter Horrorland. Like,
oh yeah,
the first one, man, I forgot. I used to.
We did.
Jack Frost was, I thought was good. It's not anymore.
Actually, thinking about it, dude, I'm looking at this. We had a pretty, all things considered, kind of similar Winter Horrorland. So I'm looking at all the episodes right now. It started, episode 1 of this season came out October 8th, 2023. Whew. Yeah. And this episode will be coming out on December 29th, 2024. Now, before we get there, first off, we also talked about all 3 Terrifier movies with our great friends over at Dead Body Bathtub. So Mike and Jermaine, if you are not following and listening to them, you should be.
Yeah.
And definitely go give them some love, because we love them from here at Spoiler Sleepover.
We sure do.
We started with my top 3 movies. We started off with Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And I still stand by the best Friday. I know everyone has their favorite Friday. I know someone whose favorite Friday is Part 8.
Hey.
Fuck everybody else's opinions, right?
Mine is X, so who the fuck am I?
We then followed it up with your first favorite movie, John Carpenter's The Thing, which, god damn.
Perfect movie.
It's tremendous.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfect movie.
We hopped into The Wolfman and started the Universal franchise, followed by our first Dead Body Bathtub Terrifier. We continued. We went off on a tangent on some of these. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Then Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, buddy.
Now, our winter episodes, 30 Days of Night.
Great movie.
Jack Frost.
Terrible movie.
Frozen.
Great movie.
The Mean One.
Terrible movie.
Now, hear me out. In one way, shape, or form, I think that you could take 30 Days a Night and put it with the Creep Show episode.
Absolutely.
You could take Jack Frost and put it with Santa Jaws.
Never do that.
You could take Frozen, an isolation Frozen movie, and put it with Pontypool, an isolation Frozen movie.
Holy fuck.
And then, of course, T3 and The Mean One. David Howard Thornton, baby.
I didn't do that on purpose.
I know we did the same fucking thing 2 years in a row, or two winters in a row. God damn. We then continued with another winter movie, and honestly, I love the feel of this movie, The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
We continued with Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, and then we started your Child's Play franchise. Right before The Conjuring with Christine, Monster Squad with Kristen, Conjuring 2 and 3 with Christine, Child's Play 2, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Child's Play 3, the double feature that ended the spring side, our season 2A with Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein. And then coming back after the summer with a We're Back, and that's where we first talked and interviewed Seamus Belisle about Gore Clown, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
Which, speaking of which, if you're not repping your Spoiler Sleepover merch, definitely go over to Gore Clown shop and use code Sleepover for 15% off your purchase. And again, don't just buy our stuff. Go support Seamus and all of Gore Clown. Go support everything that they have put up there. Tremendous art, brutal art.
Yes.
Like the bat is one of my favorite things. I love it so much. We then continued with Bride of Chucky. We ended with a bride, brought back with a bride. We then had The Mummy. Oh, Seed of Chucky. We brought on Dominique for the first time with John Carpenter's Halloween, and Halloween 2018 dropping on Halloween itself.
Spooky season.
Spooky. We had Curse of Chucky, The Phantom of the Opera from 1925, Cult of Chucky, ended Halloween Kills and ends with Dominique. And then we had our Terrifier 3 with Dead Body Bathtub to start the Winter Horrorland, Within the Walls of Madness, Santa Jaws, Pontypool, and here we are in a wrap-up, baby. God damn.
What a season.
We've done 39 episodes.
39. This is the 39th episode.
Uh-huh.
39.
God damn. But it's been a tremendous season. We've had tremendous people sub in. We've had tons of guests. We've had our first interview. This has been a whole adventure of a season, and I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, this has been fucking fantastic. And seeing as this is our 39th episode and like the wrap up of our second season, Slime season itself,
Splorp.
We're not going to do our normal openings. What I am going to tell you, though, is season 2 birthed the earworm. And due to that and all of the music because there have been episodes where podcasts were an earworm, all of the music, I will be releasing a playlist of all of season 2's earworms. So if you have Spotify, you can go ahead and I will share the link on all of our socials and you can go ahead and listen to it there. So for those of you who don't have Spotify, luckily we know people in this world that have other things like Jason Michael himself. He will be making one on YouTube Music. So we'll post that link as well. And then my wonderful partner, she uses Pandora. So she will be making the playlist for us on Pandora. We will also post that link so you can listen to that playlist. So
this is going to be a wild, diverse fucking playlist.
Yeah. So
like just thinking back on some of the shit we've talked about.
It's going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm
what
really
a roller coaster of a playlist, baby.
I'm really good at making playlists too. I did grow up in the era of mixtapes and I still have that skill within me. So pay attention.
Scribbling on your computer screen with a Sharpie.
Yeah. And if for some reason you enjoy the playlist and you want to hear more and get introduced to some more music, hit us up. I have plenty of playlists that have a bunch of different music and wide varieties in certain ones. Let me know, and I'll send you a link to one of my other playlists that I have on Spotify. But
hey, Rob.
Yeah.
It's going to have Ice Nine Kills and Ghost in it.
Sure is.
Rob just remembered. Fuck, I take everything back.
Yep. Well, I'll also be including all of the music mentioned by our guests as well.
Yeah.
So
Doja Cat's in there.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. This is such a weird playlist.
It's going to be very strange, but I will make it work. And luckily it'll be fun. It'll be a good listen. It'll take you on a ride. So it'll be a good one. It will be a long playlist, but it'll at least give you something to listen to in the few months before season 3 drops. But we are here to talk about a couple of things. We are here to rank the Universal monsters, our personal rankings of what monsters are the best to the worst or worst to the best. We will also be diving into our top 10 You've heard our top 3. Now we're going to let you know what our top 10 is.
Damn
We're
it.
starting at number 4. We're not going to reiterate the 3 that you've just listened to an entire season about. That would be
Enough
ridiculous.
with these fucking movies. God damn.
The Thing's still the best movie ever created. Ben.
You shut your fucking mouth.
All right. So, seeing as you are the resident and New England expert of all things Universal Monster, I think you should take the reins on starting this thing off.
So I will be ranking these as from worst to best. But here's the thing. I know I've said it before, and you know which ones aren't really our favorite, or we even kind of, have conflicting reports. But at the same point, like, I'm taking into account the monster and the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, we know some of these monsters are not our favorite because of the first movie. I love some of the sequels of these monsters more than the original.
Right.
So it's really being taken into account. But yes, I will say both monster and first movie will be taken into account. The movie that we talked about. So my number 8, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be your number 8. You want to say it at the same time?
The worst one?
Yeah.
The Mummy.
Yep. There it was. The Mummy from 1932.
Gets mine out of the way.
It's sad because it's Boris Karloff, but damn, dude, it's a snooze of a movie. Like, Dracula didn't have any music. This kind of did. It had a whole dancing sequence, but god damn, it's a shame. Number 7 for me, speaking of, would be Dracula. It's like, I love Bela Lugosi, and he's only been Dracula twice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one you think of. He's iconic as the Dracula, but like, Dracula is a Valentine's Day tradition for me because it came out on Valentine's Day, and I think, what a fucking Valentine's Day movie than a vampire. So I enjoy him, but let me also say this. I don't hate / not like any of the Universal monsters. I love them all separately, but some more than others.
Yeah.
Rob, what is number 7 for you?
Dracula.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I feel like now that we got those 2 out of the way, it's going to get maybe a little diverse. It may be a shock to you. My number 6 would be Frankenstein. Yep.
That was a belch of shock.
Yeah, it was.
What?
There was a lot in that belch. The monster is tremendous. Do not get me wrong. And he's been Frankenstein 4 times. Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, and the Route 66 episode. It's like, and the Wolfman has played it 6 times. 6 times! Now that we got that joke out of the way. And he's been the only one to play it. Let's just put that out there too. But yeah, Frankenstein, I don't hate him. He's incredible. But like, I've always thought, personally, every iteration I've seen of Frankenstein just has been like everyone trying to copy Boris Karloff, and no one could do it.
Right. So
there's a lot more Frankenstein after Karloff played him, and it's just kind of like, I'd love to see these roles, but with Karloff's monster.
Right.
Like, right. I would say Chaney Jr. does a great one. Glenn Strange, the other tremendous monster, but like, Bela's performance is kind of weird.
All right.
Yep. Who's your number 6?
It's the Phantom. Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
Not it's the original. The silent film is it's a great movie.
Yes.
Arguably, it doesn't. I feel like the character doesn't offer anything to the Universal Monster universe as a whole, and the follow-ups don't do shit either. Unless we are talking about the remake with Robert Englund. It's a completely different thing. And I own that on VHS. That's a fucking terrible movie, but it's so fucking good. It's so bad, it's good. I enjoy a good silent film, and this does it to a point. It is way too fucking long, but the ending is awesome. Yeah. I think when people think about the original Phantom of the Opera and why they think it's so good is because of the music and the fact that it didn't pull any punches. Like, that movie went for the fucking jugular, but his character doesn't offer shit. And that's why he sits where He's not the bottom of the totem pole on this one. But
we are prefacing a lot by this.
Yeah. So
I love him, just not as much as my other ones.
yeah, I mean, everybody knows what my number one is already, but that's beyond beside the point. So
that's fair. Number 5 is the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Okay, so this is the end of Spoiler Sleepover.
There it was. Yep. There it was.
You're wrong.
Now, I will say, it's not that I didn't care for him before. I was, honestly, as a kid, and still kind of to this day, I've got a little bit of thalassophobia. I pictured the creature coming out of the local pond at me, and it scared the fucking shit out of me as a kid. Dude, fucking no joke.
Yeah.
But I love Revenge of the Creature. Yeah, I know, even though it's a schlock fest, but like The Creature Walks Among Us, I haven't seen it forever. I feel like if I were to reach for a monster movie, it wouldn't be The Creature, though. He's tremendous. The effects, Rico Browning and fucking Ben Chapman. I met Ben Chapman when I was younger. I have signed shit from him on my wall.
Yeah.
But like, it's genius. It's something we've never seen before. It was more space to me, which I get it. At that point in time, it was the space age of movies. So like they had space Universal actors. I don't remember his name at the moment, unfortunately, but the guy who played the lead role, he was in several like space themed ventures at that time. So it's one of the ones where I would probably go for a sequel over the original. Like I would watch Revenge more than Creature personally.
And, you know, to a younger audience or somebody who's newer to more modern horror, that must sound fucking insane. But when you go to the old days of horror, it makes a lot more sense that a sequel would be better. I mean, we look at Friday the 13th as a whole. All those movies are great for what they are, but everyone does have their favorite. People skip over them all the time, and as long as you know the story of Jason Voorhees, you're good to go. Like,
does it connect? Meh. Oh well,
not at all. I mean, Jason X is my favorite, and I get shit for it all the time, but it at least connects. Earth is fucking dead. They go down. Like, we currently look for fucking dinosaurs and shit like that, and they're looking for what Earth once was, and they accidentally find fucking Jason Voorhees and bring him to space. Like, this is bananas. It's fucking insanity, but the kills are fucking badass. And gun to head, if someone's like, you're picking a Friday the 13th movie and it can't be the first 3. Bitch, okay, buckle in. We're watching X.
I feel like that's not a problem.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I mean, nowadays you can't really fucking do that. You can't just be like, hey, I'm going to watch It Chapter 2 without ever watching the first part. Like, you'll be fucking lost. You're like, well, I don't understand any of this.
Movies nowadays that are like Dune 1, Dune 2.
Yeah.
You need to.
You
go into it. You go into it expecting a sequel. So it's like, why even? My brother, I haven't watched Dune 1 or Dune 2. I could give two shits less. But my brother specifically said, hey, if you want to go see it, wait till the second one comes out. Because you're just going to be expecting a sequel. They're not going to finish this shit.
No. Yeah.
So
they've been doing that for the past handful of years, where they don't tell you it's more than one movie. I am so glad that somebody warned me that fucking Wicked was 2 parts before I went in, because the movie started and it said Wicked Part 1, and there were groans in the theater, and I was just like, oh shit, people don't know.
Dude, that's incredible.
I probably would have been one of those people. I would have looked at my mom like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on, man.
I'm leaving this theater now. Oh my God.
Oh,
but
man.
Rob, what is your number 5 in the Universal Monsters?
A monster that's barely a monster and barely on screen. Bride.
Ooh, that's fair.
It's called Bride of fucking Frankenstein.
Yeah. She
is the Bride of Frankenstein for what, 5 minutes? And then the monster is like, we belong dead, bitch, and just fucking murks everybody. Like, that's the end of the movie. Like, the whole thing is leading up to the monster's out in the wild still alive, still fine, just rambling around trying to figure out everything. The fucking doctor's over here being like, I need something cold to put my willy in, and makes a fucking bride. And what the fuck, dude? And then she just dies. The movie's...
I don't entirely think that was the plot line, but James Whale, you know.
People get married for reasons. And I mean, I don't know. Like it's a good ad. It's a good, next chapter in the Frankenstein monster story.
Mhm.
But there's barely any fucking bride in the movie. Like it offers goddamn nothing again. And that's my argument. It's called The Bride of Frankenstein. She's on screen for fucking 5 minutes.
That's fair.
Pointless.
100% fair. No, you are entirely correct. So, and when we get there, we'll get there. Number 4, I have the Phantom of the Opera. Now, I think his performance, again, silent movie, it's weird. Like Mask of the Red Death. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
That is tremendous. A powerful presence. The 2-color Technicolor. The fact that he's on the roof like cape flowing in the wind like fucking Spawn up here. It's incredible. And again, he did all that makeup himself. Chaney Sr. did his own makeup. People wanted to do his makeup and he's like, fuck you. No, absolutely not. So for Chaney Sr. and again, basing this mostly on the movies we watched, but like the Phantom in pop culture and everything else, like I've seen so many other things bring up a Phantom.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. Fucking the game Psychonauts. There is a specific Phantom of the Opera style level, and it's incredible. Psychonauts, if you've never heard of it, it's a psychic game.
Yeah.
Like you go to like a psychic summer camp and you go into people's brains and dreams and thoughts. It's awesome. The second one, great, but not the first one. But we're not talking about Psychonauts. We're talking about our rankings of the Universal Monster movies. And Rob, what is your number 4?
You're going to hate me. It's a Wolfman.
And this is the end of... I've already made the joke. Okay. All right.
I enjoy the Wolfman. I enjoy the movie. It's the continuous moment of...
You're wrong.
The disbelief.
False.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is lies. All right, go on. Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I mean, really, it's the same thing that you were saying. If there's a universal that you were saying about Creature, it's not Wolfman's not the first one I'm reaching for. It is on the list. It is in the top 4. I would prefer that over a majority of the other ones, but it's in
the upper half, baby. We made it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But other ones just more or less, they like strike me closer to the heart. Like there are things about my top 3 or this one that just are more for me. I also have a really weird thing with werewolves. I understand Wolfman was like, they started this. This is the one. But you go forward in time, Dog Soldiers is the quintessential best werewolf movie literally ever made, in my opinion. And I mean, I saw the Wolfman first, but I was like, I feel like there's just something fucking missing. I mean, even knowing the insides, like the inside and outside stuff that, how he walked on his tippy toes to make him look more wolf-like. Fucking dope. But the movie, I hate to say it, it's one of those, if it's on, I know I can play a game on my phone while it's on. I'm not fully paying attention, but I also know the movie really well. But it's just, it doesn't hold me, I guess is really what it comes down to. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. You bitch. Moving on. To number 3, we are in our top 3 Universal monsters and movies of all time. My number 3, you have completely valid reasons, as I told you. My number 3 is The Bride. Now, if you asked me this like 2 years ago, I would have said probably it would have been Creature or Phantom. Rewatching these and going back in a more analytic lens has kind of changed a few things for me. Again, love them all in their own ways, but going back and going, oh, fuck. The Bride has, yes, less than like 2 minutes, maybe 3 of screen time. But holy fucking shit, is her presence commanding. Like, she is just, the moment she's on the screen, I could not look away from her. And like, even the connection of rewatching this and rewatching it again, when I talked about the Universal Monsters with Camp Nightmare, I didn't realize that it was Elsa Lanchester as Mary Shelley in the beginning. and how they mimicked her with the two doctors on either side of her arms from the end of the movie. And then I watched it. I was like, holy fucking shit, James Whale. And it's tremendous. She's powerful. Her scream is tremendous. The makeup, the beautiful dress, like The Bride is phenomenal to me. And like when I think of Frankenstein, I think I said this in our recording, I always have the music from The Bride playing in the back of my head. I always have that. And again, she may have been only on screen for like a couple brief moments, but the amount of shit of Bride of Frankenstein that is in pop culture now and recreated. Dude, when they were bringing Barbies to life and Small Soldiers, they were playing the Bride of Frankenstein theme song. When Tiffany, when Tiffany gets born in Bride of Chucky, she's watching Bride of Frankenstein.
Yep.
And that's the TV that gets pushed into the bathtub. See, I paid attention. Don't you worry. I got you, boo-boo. I got you. So Bride is my number 3. She is tremendous. Like, I love the movie. I laugh at it. I know it's supposed to be a horror comedy, but I laugh at that fucking movie so many times. It's awesome. Rob, what's your number 3?
Oh, he needs no introduction. The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man's fucking awesome. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. His laugh. It just how maniacal and how quick he goes from I'm a guy who shot himself up with some crazy shit and just insane is fucking bonkers. And the practical. Just the fact that in that time they were able to do what they did blows my mind every fucking time I watch it. We've even discussed this, and you have told me how they did these things, and I still watch it. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. He's. You want to talk about demanding? This dude demands your attention, and his presence is fucking nuts. Such a badass Universal monster. He's just dope. I don't know what it's an exciting movie. The ending's redonkulous, but it is so fucking good. I love The Invisible Man. So
moving on to number 2, lo and behold, is The Invisible Man. Now, I've visited Claude Rains' grave several times, and there's always a brand new piece of Invisible Man. It's like a little toy, or I can't even remember what the fucking word is. Merchandise, if you will.
There you go.
And it's like, there's still fans out there to this day of this movie that go and see him. He's in Moltenboro at a beautiful little spot. I visited it in winter. It's gorgeous. I visited it in the summer. It's fucking gorgeous. He's just a tremendous person who leads. You didn't need to see his face to know who the fuck he was. And as you say, that laugh is haunting.
Yeah.
Paired with Una O'Connor screaming, it's tremendous. And again, it's like one of those old things. Leigh Whannell did it great in the 2020 Invisible Man. Yeah. He uses a lot of dead space, and you don't know if he's actually there / where he is. They did it with this one, and it was like he was in the fucking car riding along with the cops the entire time, and you're thinking, oh, okay, they're far away, he's nowhere there, and he's just like, these fucking stupid morons, goddamn. It kills a whole fucking train of people, dude.
Yeah.
So
Bananas.
And like, again, Bride commands a presence with how she looks. When he shows up and just in the full dressed garb and bandage and bathrobe, oh my God. His whole speech about even the moon's frightened of me, frightened to death. It's like, fucking goddamn. Man's challenging the fucking planets and astral things. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So, Rob, number 2, Universal monster for you.
Frankenstein's monster. Yep.
Chainsaw and all, baby.
Chainsaw and all. Yeah, I love Frankenstein's monster. I don't know if I mentioned this when we were going through all of the Universal monsters or not, but the first Universal monster movie I ever saw was Dracula. And that Halloween I wanted to be Dracula because it was the closest and first, thing to horror I actually got a good look at. Granted, I was unaware that same year my actual first horror movie was Hellraiser. I had watched. Yep. I'm going to date myself. Back in the day, every once in a while, when you had cable, one of the premium channels would give you a free trial. And I believe it was on HBO or Cinemax or something, but it was on. I was in my mom's room and I was just like, what's this? And I watched a horror movie. Had no idea it was a horror movie.
What is this?
Not even. I was so intrigued. I was just like, what is this? This is amazing.
Hey, dude, Hellraiser is beautiful.
And then my mom and grandmother noticed that I was very interested in the spookier things when we were out in the store. And my grandmother was like, let's watch Dracula. So I watched Dracula and I was like, all right, I want to be Dracula. The next year.
We've all been Dracula for Halloween, bro. Yeah. I've been Dracula more times than I can fucking count.
The next year.
Holy shit!
Oh, you didn't do that on purpose.
No!
That was good.
That's it, my number one? Dracula, baby.
No.
No, but also the fact it was a pun. Fucking shoot me. All right. Keep going.
I've destroyed you.
You bitch.
The next year, I ended up watching Frankenstein for the first time, and it just I don't know. It holds a special place in my heart, but more so, I just love how secretly fucked up and dark this movie is. And people are like, "Yeah, Frankenstein. It's such a great movie." And they're like,
"No,
he kills a child.
He kills a child, and he basically is a child himself too."
And then, I mean, the ending is never not a moment where you're like, your stomach drops, but then you bust out laughing when he just yeets Dr. Frankenstein off the top. It's
pretty sure that was our ranking system for that one.
It's so good. Everything about watching somebody forced into life fumble through existence where everyone hates him.
Mm-hmm.
He was
neglected
brought into
from
this
day
world.
one.
Yeah, neglected, abused. It resonates with me in a very deep way, but I just really love the movie. I think it's amazing, and I love Frankenstein's monster. I think he's fucking fantastic. So, yeah, I love the movie.
100%. And my number one favorite, and I know I've made it very apparent, and if you weren't playing along at home, you obviously know who it is at this point. It is The Wolfman from 1941. I love this movie. I cannot put it on as background. I cannot put it on as, I'll do it while folding laundry or, washing the dishes and have it on the TV. No, motherfucker, I have to watch this movie because it is tremendous. Lon Chaney Jr., he's the only person who's played the Wolfman. He's the only actor in the Universal who has played the Wolfman. Frankenstein's been played by many people. Dracula, the Mummy, the Creature, everybody else, I mean, obviously besides the Bride, because the Bride was only in one thing, everybody else has been played by another actor, not the fucking Wolfman. Lon Chaney Jr. has played Larry Talbot in 6 different things: The Wolfman, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and the Route 66 special. And in every single one, it's kind of like he learns a little bit more about himself in it, but like starting with number 1, yes, he was thrown into this, and it's like, oh, I'm still kind of new to it. He plays tragedy so goddamn well. Like, Lawrence Talbot as a character is so tragic. The look on his face when he realizes that he's about to turn after, like, there's a werewolf in camp, and he goes, fuck, that's me.
Yeah.
And just the look of how he is in that is just so sad. And the whole tiptoe walking with the hours and hours of yak hair put on his face by Jack Pierce, who has put on many prosthetics and makeup for these movies. So Jack Pierce, again, I know we talked about you as a bloody legend, but shout out to Jack Pierce and his makeup capabilities for this fucking franchise.
Mm-hmm.
The Wolfman is tremendous. He's an absolute powerhouse and terrifying thing. All the not stereotypes, but all the, like, I did this in Wolfman too. I couldn't fucking remember the word. All the, the silver bullets, the full moon happens once a month, which I know is funny because he's like he's changing several times within 2 days.
Yeah.
But that's not how full moons work. Or is it? Who gives a shit? It's a tremendous movie, tremendous monster. I love the Wolfman with all my heart, which is why I didn't like the remake with Benicio del Toro. He kind of looks like Lawrence Talbot, though. I'll give him that. I cannot stand the 2 werewolf fight at the end of it. I can't. I hated that. I was young and watching it with my dad in theaters, and I was going, oh, this is horror. Oh, and my dad thinks the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I, especially me, am fucking hoping that this new Wolfman is going to be something good. I'm still going to see it in theaters. I'm not going to wait because I don't want anything to pop out and then I go, oh, well, fuck. I want to experience it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do when this movie comes out.
Well,
I will tell you how it is. And I'll bite that silver bullet if need be.
It sounds like a spew. If you're doing it, then we're doing it together.
All right, fair.
You heard it here first. We're gonna go suffer through Wolfman together. Well, maybe,
or it could be the best fucking thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like I didn't know what to expect of the Invisible Man after what happened with the Wolfman.
I
had no high hopes, and holy fucking shit. But Wolfman, my number one favorite, and again, I said it from the get-go, he is my favorite. And again, the whole thing, because I'm seeing it on Riverside right now, my Wolfman tattoo, I've got all the monsters on my arm. I've got the Ardeth Bay version of the Mummy because the Ardeth Bay version is so good. But Rob, that is my ranking of the 8 monsters. Who is your number one to bring it home?
Again, if you haven't been playing along at home, and you haven't been listening, you already know it's the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I fucking love the Creature. I have always had a bit of an issue with collecting anything creature related just because I don't know. I feel like a lot of anything that is made creature related for collectibles just looks hokey. And I really like, not in like the good way, like, oh, we rushed this or we want this to look as real as possible. When I think about collecting things, I want it to look like it came out when the movie came out. I want old looking shit.
Yep.
A few years back, I went to Walgreens late night, grab a snack, and it was in the middle of October, and I'm walking down the toy aisle, and they had one of those bendy toys, and it was the Creature, and I was like, look at this fugly ass thing, and it was $5, and I was just like buying it, and so I own it. I love it because it just looks like a shitty toy that was put out back in the day, and I love it. Since then, I have seen 2 things in my life that I was like, I want that, and luckily, I didn't have to spend a penny on either of them because Jason Michael gave them both to me.
Hi, that's me. Hi.
So I have the dope ass NECA figure that sits next to Bendy Arms because they have to be side by side, and then on my desk, sitting next to me, staring at me, holding the Misfits Halloween original press record.
Shout out to Halloween Ends right there, baby.
Yeah, is the hand. I have the Misfits original 45 of the song Halloween and Halloween 2 because they have both songs on there. But it's holding up the vinyl. It looks fucking dope. I was just like, I don't want anything else on there. This is just like awesome. But the Creature from the Black Lagoon for me is the happy place. It is fucked. It is a fucked up movie, but the cool things behind it, like finding out from you that there was 2 completely different people, the underwater actor in the suit and then the actual walking actor in the suit. I love that. I love the fact that it isn't like the other Universal monster movies where it's like, okay, the movie starts, here's the monster, let's move forward with the story. This one builds. You get to know every single character. You get to know who you like, who you hate, who you love, and they build the lore behind all of this too. There's grave robbing in the fucking opening of the movie. If you don't look at it that way, great. But here's the thing, the creature's been alive since the fucking dinosaurs, basically. And we just walk in there and defile his dead bride or fucking family member's grave? Yeah, no wonder he's pissed off at you. It's awesome. There's not a single moment in that movie that lets up. Even when you think, all right, here's a moment of peace. Nope. Look in the background, bitch. He's watching. Like, it's the Creature is the original watch the background movie. Like, that became a thing in like the 2000s where it was just like, all right, every horror movie watch the background because something's going to be there. The Creature did it fucking first. It's amazing. I love everything about it. The water scares me. I'm not terrified to go swimming. It's just scary. And then knowing that something so old can be in such a small area, and
especially how dark it is too.
Yeah,
like,
and then that small area,
everyone's got a little thalassophobia in them.
Oh, for sure. It's also just the fact that you look at the area and you're like, oh, this is tiny. And then you go underwater and you're like, holy fuck, this isn't small at all.
Dude, it fucking goes. Like, even in the shit that you could see, it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Let alone the fact of all of a sudden they're like, yeah, there's a whole underground or underwater cave system. Fuck you, man.
Seriously. But I love the creature, and it everything about it. It just, I don't know, if I see, the creature stuff out in public, it makes me smile. You and I going to see it in the big screen was like huge. And I was living life large at that point in time in my life too. I was in California and fucking going to Creature Feature Weekend. I was all over the place, going to seeing bands live constantly.
You were completely erect the entire movie. It was weird.
That was a fucking highlight. Like, I look back and I'm like, it was you and I going to see all 4 of those Universal monster movies together is a cherished memory of mine. Even
that was our first time meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah, we chatted online a whole bunch, but never had ever met face to face until that moment, and then our talking never stopped. Was it Creature and Mummy, and then Phantom and Bride, or vice versa? Actually, I had the tickets over on the wall. It was Creature and Phantom, because I remembered. I said, yeah. Which one is it starting with? And you were like, does it matter? And I was like, well, I kind of want Creature to be last but at the same time, Phantom's really long, so I don't want to sit through all of that and not have the attention for my favorite movie. And then luckily Creature from Black Lagoon was first, and then it wasn't the Phantom I was expecting. So I was like, well, what a disappointment.
Oh my God. I want them to come back and do that. Like, I saw all 8 of those on the big screen. That was some of the best times.
So I got a funny story real quick. Chachi, our brand ambassador, my close friend, my brother from another mother, he's been catching up. So he's got a lot going on in his life. He's been very, very busy. He's fallen behind on the episodes. Fair. By the time this episode comes out, he will have been caught up. But
hi, Chachi.
He called me the other day when we were on the phone, and he was like, so I couldn't remember if I'd seen The Phantom before. So I saw that the episode was out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this before I listen to the episode. So I queued it up and I watched it, and I watched the whole movie, and then I listened to the episode. I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
You watched Claude?
You watched the wrong one.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's like 43 different fucking Phantoms out there, dude. As long as he didn't watch Gerard Butler, we're okay.
He goes, yeah, the minute you said silent film, I was like, well, I watched the wrong movie.
Oh, well, it's all gone tits up. All right, cool.
Oh, man. But
holy shit.
Chachi will find the time. I told him it's free on YouTube to watch, and he was like, okay, good. I'll go watch it. So, but yeah, so those are our ratings, man. I mean, I feel we knew our top, at least our number ones. I'm a little shocked by the order of some of yours, to be completely honest. But
I told you it was going to get divisive right there, man.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was, but again, this is why we have our podcast. We could talk and actually have a conversation, have opposing views, and it's fine. So that is our rating on the Universal Monsters, the Big 8, if you will. And we will be talking about the rest of our top 10s right after this. Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Gore Clown Shop.
Do you love all things horror? Books? Movies? Podcasts? Of course you do. Well, come on down to goreclown.com.
Original artwork by an indie horror fan for indie horror fans.
Use code SLEEPOVER at checkout to save 15% on your whole purchase.
Oh, and did we mention? Gore Clown is the only place to get official Spoiler Sleepover merch.
So don't forget to use Sleepover to save 15%.
Stay indie, suckers! And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. That's right.
Yeah,
we're talking about the rest of our top 10s. We have talked about our top 3 movies / franchises of all time. And of course, if you have top 3, you have a top 10.
Yeah, you can't narrow anything down to 3. And if you can, you haven't experienced or witnessed enough to be like, yeah, no, I only have 3. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You have 10. And to be blunt, you probably have more than that. But 10 seems reasonable.
I was texting you. I was like, fuck, this list is harder than I thought, dude. Like I have a couple honorable mentions, which like I couldn't put them in there because I had something else. I was like, fuck, I'd reach for this. It all came down to I would reach for this if I saw it on the shelf.
Yep.
Versus this. Yep. I would reach for this 100%.
My 4 through 10 was very easy for me because I was just like, yep. And ladies, gents, non-binary friends, we're sticking to the form. This is top 10 singular movies or franchises. So this isn't just one-offs. If it's a franchise, it's a franchise. So you started it off with Universal Monsters. So I'm going to take the reins and I'm going to start off with number 4. Now,
okay.
These are also in no particular order. These are just our top 10s. Number 4 for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, everyone did. It's an amazing movie. And one of my favorite things about the movie is how anybody and everybody is like, that movie's so fucked up. It is so violent. It is so gory. Hate to break the news to you. You see nothing. There's no blood. There's not a drop of blood in that entire fucking movie.
Sliding door sledgehammer thing, you don't even really see it.
Yep, you see nothing. And everything's left to the imagination. The camera angles are perfect. It is a classic. It is arguably the first deep hillbilly slasher film to ever grace the screens. And it is a classic. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you're sensitive to an insane amount of screaming, this isn't the movie for you because pretty much I'd say like 50% of the dialogue in this movie is just screaming.
Yeah.
But it is so goddamn good. Such a great movie. Jason Michael, what's your number 4?
My number 4 actually is Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman.
Holy shit.
Dude, I love this movie with all my fucking heart. It is like I watched it the other day because I was reorganizing my NECA figures and like I'm going to send you pictures so we could post on the socials because like the original design was like all them standing there in their glory. Now some of them are interacting with each other. They have more powerful stances. Dude, I'm a fucking nerd and I love it. But Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman was like the original Monster Mash to me. Yeah. And I was like, holy fucking shit, they're actually meeting on the screen. It's like the Godzilla and Kong for me.
Yeah.
But like Lawrence Talbot, Lon Chaney Jr. again. It's now Bela Lugosi as the monster. But it's such a tremendous thing. And it's not Frankenstein versus the Wolfman because they don't really fight until the end of the movie. And oh my God. And fun fact, I think I already talked about it. The Wolfman is not being played by Larry Talbot there. Or Lon Chaney Jr. It's actually Eddie Park, the stunt double, who also did work for Abbott and Costello meet Jekyll and Hyde. The fucking Jekyll and Hyde climbing up the side of the building is not Boris Karloff. It's Eddie Park. So that's a fun little thing. And if you have seen Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, there's this whole song bit in the middle of it. And fun story, I was in middle school and all of a sudden I was in chorus. And for some reason I was like, man, I love Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. And I started remembering that scene. I was like, how the fuck does that song go? And I was singing it to myself, but the life is short, but death is long. And I couldn't remember what that next little, I couldn't remember what it was. And that was like the next 4 hours of my life in middle school. I didn't focus on a fucking thing besides that song. I went home, put the VHS into the VCR real quick and watched the movie up until that point. And I'm watching it, and then all of a sudden he goes, "For life is short and death is long." I was like, I fucking knew it. It was such a vindicating moment for me. But Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, that would be my next favorite movie. It's fantastic, and I love it. Number 5, Rob.
The Saw franchise.
Ooh.
And I don't think that most people include Spiral into that, but I am including Spiral. It is,
Okay.
It's from the book of Saw. That's what it's titled as. But yeah, the Saw franchise. I absolutely love every single one of those movies. And I hear people all the time like, after the first one, blah, 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 or after two. Yeah, sure.
After shut your fucking mouth.
It's the same thing over and over again. It's different traps. The traps get fucking crazier. The storyline gets fucking insane. And most people are like, well, you can't even follow it. I'm like, well, yeah, if you think like a 3-year-old, you probably can't follow it, but there is a storyline and it is followable. I really enjoy all of them. I've seen, except for Spiral, I saw every single one of these movies in theaters. I can't say that for a lot of franchises, but was lucky enough that I got to see all of these. I skipped school. I was in high school. I skipped school to go see the first movie and loved it so much. I walked out of the theater, bought another ticket. I skipped school with friends too. And they were like, what are you doing? We have to go back to school. And I was like, nope.
I'm going back.
I just found my new Jesus. I'm going back to watch this motherfucking movie again. So I did. And they all fucking skedaddled back to school. I walked right back in and watched it twice in a row. And then proceeded to see it, I think, 9 times within like a 2-month period.
Damn.
I love Saw. I love these movies. I used to have, so when they all got released on DVD, they were all released in clear cases that had, Saw and then Saw 2, whatever, but they all had a weapon or something or a trap on like the clear cover. Or the disc was a Saw, whatever it was. And I had all of them. And then at one point, I believe it was Saw 6 or Saw 7, they stopped making those cases. And I was like, fuck, this sucks because it looks so cool on a shelf. And so, I continued to get the rest of the movies, but it just pissed me off. And it also took up so much fucking space that I finally bit the bullet and said, fuck it. And I went to a store here in New Hampshire called Bull Moose and traded them in for credit to get the Blu-ray box set. So I have the box set now that takes up way less room on my shelf, and now I have them on Blu-ray, so I get to see all of that visceral goo and violence in such higher quality. It's beautiful. So
the pixels, yay!
So my number 5 is the Saw franchise. Jason, Michael, what's yours?
My number 5, and again, had a little bit of influence as of recent. My number 5 would have to be the Terrifier franchise. Like, I love Art the Clown, and the fact of he's a new slasher for a newer generation. Like, I wasn't born when Jason started, wasn't born when Michael started, wasn't born when Freddy started, all that. So having this, and it's like, Ghostface. So having Art show up and it's like, what the fuck is this? And then watching Terrifier 1 and going, what the fuck did I just watch? And then finally years later from moving from Massachusetts to New Hampshire, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm going to go see Terrifier 2. Wound up going to see it in a fucking beat up theater with like half of the rows closed and cautioned off with tape, and seeing like fucking no lights on in the parking lot. Dude, I thought I was ready to get killed by Art the Clown himself.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude. And then to going to see Terrifier 3 with you, and the fact that we've broadened our horizons and had Dead Body Bathtub on to talk about these movies.
Yeah.
Like, dude, to Terrifier 3, Terrifier as a whole has been such a tremendous trip, and like it meeting new people. We met Art the Clown.
Yep.
Like, holy fucking shit, dude. So Terrifier is something beyond comprehension in horror sometimes, and I love it.
Yeah.
So Terrifier franchise, even though some of the dodgy things in 3 where it's like, we don't really need all this backstory. We'll see how 4 comes in with the franchise and with that, but I still love 3. You do need to watch it again. I've honestly been thinking about, my roommate asked me earlier today, so how many times did you watch Terrifier 3 this week? And I went, none, but I thought about it.
Oh man.
So that's my number 5. Rob, number 6.
It's the Terrifier franchise.
I saw that coming. You were waving your finger at me to get.
Yeah, I'm I'm a bit older than you. So, I mean, I've gotten to see the birth of, as I just previously spoke about, John Kramer, the Jigsaw killer himself. In his own way. I mean, the franchise is fucking huge. I got to see the birth of that. I got to see, Ghostface, not great, but a lot of other ones. But Art the Clown is something so new, but also familiar when it comes down to creating this new thing. Now, I hate to be that guy, but I saw Terrifier the year that it came out and only ended up finding it and watching the movie because I had seen All Hallows Eve. And I was just like, oh, this is a really dope anthology film. I want more of that dude because that clown's fucking crazy. And it's like also really silly because he comes crawling out of a TV and shit like that. I was just like, this is bananas, but I feel like there's more here. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, here's an entire fucking movie based off of this dude. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. So I watched it and I was just like, yo, this shit's insane. And
it's a different actor too. And it's been David Howard Thornton since then.
All Hallows Eve, yeah. So I ended up, I've lost count, but for years I was introducing people to Terrifier. I was like, you have you ever heard of this movie? No, you've got to watch this. This is fucking insane.
What's wrong with you?
What's so great about it? I was like, dude, he wears a woman's skin and like does like the fucking Buffalo Bill dance and shit like that. He saws a woman from crotch to cranium. Like what's not to want to see about this? This movie's bonkers. And they're knowing that the budget was so low and they were able to do so much and put a good story out there blew my fucking mind. And I'm like, I need more of this. Terrifier 2, you and I have wildly different experiences of seeing it for the first time. Yep. I saw it in a stadium theater in Los Angeles. And by the time the movie was over, all of those rumors of people puking and passing out and walking out, never heard anyone puke, didn't see anyone passed out, but we got like I think 2 of the 5 or 6 last tickets in that theater. When we got there, sat in our seats, the fucking theater was jam-packed. By the time the movie was ending, I looked back because we were kind of uncomfortably close to the screen, and the theater was more than half empty. People fucking noped out of there, and it was wild to live in a moment where hearing the hype, knowing that the hype was real. So coming into this third movie, hearing all this hype again, I was just like, holy fuck, I'm so amped. Now, we've discussed this already. Jason Michael has texted me quite a bit to let me know that my viewpoint on my one watch so far may be skewed because I walked in expecting more, but I was let down. Nobody walked out there. It was weird.
They walked out during the Hallmarky shit, but they came right back because they're like, I gotta fucking piss, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I did the same fucking thing. Like,
yeah, you did. I walked out of Terrifier 3. Call him out.
Yeah, I had to pee real bad, and I was like, yeah, they're just chatting. This is a lot of exposition and just backstory that I don't know. We got backstory in 2 that I felt was necessary, but in 3, I was just like, this is too much. Like, all right. So yeah, that is my number 6. What about you?
The Lost Boys, the original Lost Boys. Now, based on your reaction, but also the fact of I remember I told Jermaine that I loved her Lost Boys poster, and I got your reaction from that. I knew what your reaction was going to be to this. This is my second favorite vampire movie behind Dracula. I love the Lost Boys. It's one of that perfect 80s feel to me. Like the fucking
just squinching my face up over here like perfect. Yeah. I don't think so, but all right.
I personally love it, especially like the whole I can never fucking remember his name, Kiefer Sutherland as David, and just the whole you're eating maggots, Michael. It's not rice, Michael. I fucking love it. And the whole use of Cry Little Sister, just beating it into your head is like, God. But it's like, I would imagine people walked out of the movie going, Cry Little Sister. It's, probably. Dude, I love The Lost Boys. It's another one of those movies. We talked about it with the Pontypool episode of, I don't want to watch a movie that might or a sequel that might ruin the first one for me.
Mhm.
I don't want to watch the other Lost Boys because I haven't heard anything good about them. So
Yeah, I mean they're remaking it too, so we got
we're
that
gonna be in
to
that
not
boat
look
again.
forward to. Yeah,
But yeah, Lost Boys. I love Lost Boys. Again, I know you don't. It's okay. I was gonna say this is where I feel like our lists are gonna go in just strange, different directions.
oh yeah. Wait,
So I'm here for it.
you just wait. There's one that's gonna just make you go, huh?
Scooby Doo, Hassle in the Castle.
Fuck, not that one.
So number 7, Rob, what do you have?
The Evil Dead franchise.
Okay,
Yeah, and
this was one of my honorable mentions as well.
that includes the television show Ash versus Evil Dead. The show is awesome. The show adds and continues the storyline all these years later, but I just love the extreme low budget that we get from the first movie to the second movie, where you can tell there was a budget, but there was also restraints from the start where they were like,
Yep.
okay, so we can't use all this blood, and
Make it all black goo.
Sam Raimi was just like, cool, we'll do green and yellow and black, like it's just all the fucking colors of the rainbow. Like, why not? They're fucking deadites. Like, they can literally spew and bleed anything. It doesn't fucking matter. And realizing he can utilize Bruce Campbell to his fullest potential, that he would literally do anything, and that Sam could just abuse the shit out of him. And Bruce
boy,
would just,
howdy did he.
he would just take it and just made his performances better. Army of Darkness still to this day is just, it's a perfect movie. It's so
I love Army of Darkness.
ridiculous. It's so
It's my favorite
good.
of them.
I love it. I'm going to also include the remake. And the only reason I'm calling this a remake is because it was not supposed to be a remake. It was actually supposed to be a new chapter. Now, luckily, we got Evil Dead Rise. So Evil Dead Rise alleviated the issue of this one random standalone that was supposed to be the start of a new trilogy, where the new main character we were to find out was Ash's niece. But we never got that. Now, Evil Dead Rise fixed that. And now we get to know, all right, so we already knew there were 3 Necronomicons. So the quote unquote remake that's no longer a remake is one of them. Evil Dead Rise is another one. So there are 3. Ash has one.
God.
Remake has the other one. Evil Dead Rise has the other one. So there are 3.
I gotta watch Rise again, dude.
It's so fucking good.
Oh my God.
I was thinking
that's
about rewatching
what started
it
our
recently.
podcast, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
That and Scream 6.
Yep.
It was Evil Dead Rise. That's what started. That was our first episode because we didn't want to start with Scream 6.
No, we started it because we both fucking hated Scream 6 so much. We're like, we gotta bitch into microphones about this shit. But
I love how it was like us texting each other. It's like, do we really want to put out a bitch fest as a first episode?
yes.
Let's do it. Let's do Evil Dead Rise first.
But yeah, I love the Evil Dead movies. On my desk right now, staring at me, is Ash. I have an Ash plushie
Creepy.
sitting on my desk. Behind me, on my collection shelves over here, I have 2 different Ashes. There are Ashes everywhere in my office. I fucking love Evil Dead. It's so good, but not top 3. But still just fucking perfect. There's not a bad entry in my opinion at all. 5 movies and a TV series. But yeah.
Oh my.
So, all right, what is your number 7?
My number 7 is Sleepaway Camp.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Good
dude.
pull,
So
good pull.
like this, when I think of summer camp horror, usually it goes to like Friday the 13th or The Burning. And now I constantly think of Sleepaway Camp because god damn, is this just such a great movie. It starts off with just tragedy and is from that moment on a little questioning because you're like, why is this aunt this way? And then, the story unfolds. It gets more unsettling. Like, dude, the fucking cook? Hell no.
Yeah.
There's also James Earl Jones's father, Darth Vader's own father, is in this movie.
Fucking dumb.
I'm a Trekkie. Ooh, fuck you.
Hey.
So, but like all the the wonderful like whodunit kind of kills in this movie.
Mhm.
Dude, I have a sleepaway camp tattoo that is it's the best line in the movie, and it's the greatest fucking comeback. It's when the kids are playing baseball and the older kid is like, eat shit and die. And then the kid comes back with, eat shit and live, Bill. I have eat shit and live right above my Camp Nightmare tattoo.
That is fucking awesome. I did not know you had that tattooed on you.
Surprise.
That's amazing.
Dude,
now,
it's tremendous.
if
And
you've
also,
never-
Felissa Rose is such a sweetheart, too.
I'm going to say, if you've never seen Jason Michael in person, dude is covered in tattoos. So, like,
there's a few hidden that you don't know about.
bend over and touch your toes.
It says mass hole, actually.
Oh my god, the butthole's the O. Oh my god.
No, it's the L. It's even worse.
Oh my god, you should see a doctor.
Help me.
Stitch
Like-
me up.
Oh my god. But Sleepaway Camp is fantastic. And again, if you have not like watched it, you should, because Felissa Rose, for such a calm, quiet character at the end, it's so horrifying and unsettling. And then to actually meet her in real life, she is one of the sweetest goddamn people on this
So
planet. I
nice.
met her at the first spoiler con. Damn, if
Ooh,
only.
Not yet.
The first Silver Scream Con, I met her. I walked up to her and met her first, and Dominique went with me, and she wasn't all about it, but we both got our picture taken with Felissa Rose. And then when I introduced my better half to Sleepaway Camp, we watched it at camp, and she goes, "What the fuck? Why?"
Why would you do this to me?
Never again. The ending, she was covering her eyes during the ending.
Oh my god.
Oh my dude, it was tremendous. Sorry, I'm putting you on blast here, sweetie. But I was like, if she goes to another con near, will you come with? She's like, yes, I will go. I will take the picture, but I will not go near her. I'm like, she's such a sweet person. She's like, cool. Too bad I'll never know. And she said the same thing with David Howard Thornton. When I sent her the picture, she's like, oh, he looks like a normal guy. I'm like, I told you. And she's like, I'll never know it.
Yeah. So
She doesn't do well with horror, but I'm slowly getting her into it.
quick question. Have you
Quick answer.
watched the sequels?
I tried.
Oh,
And
man.
it turns out it was one of those things where I don't think I want to, because I don't want it to ruin the magic of one.
You tried to, in the sense of you started it and shut it off, or you thought about it and then said no?
Both, because I started watching the second one and then turned it off. And then I was like, But I've heard Camp Nightmare's breakdown on it. I was like, cool. That's all I need.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like 2. 3, not so much, but
Yeah. So Sleepaway Camp for number 7. What about you?
my number 8
Yeah.
is the one that's going to make you go, huh?
My number 8 is going to be funny because of the name, but go on.
Mine is Tusk. Written and directed by the amazing fucking Kevin Smith. I love Kevin Smith. He has, in my opinion, not ever made a bad movie. I own literally everything he's ever done. I own movies he's only produced. Like, I fucking love Kevin Smith. This is a horror podcast, so there's not much for me to talk about other than 3 of his movies: Tusk, Red State, and Yoga Hosers. And Yoga
What'd you call me?
Hosers, Yoga Hosers is his first ever PG-13 movie. But I love Tusk. In my office, on my wall, I have the theatrical poster for Tusk, and it was the original release. It's double-sided. God damn it, I love Tusk. It is disturbing. It's funny. It's ridiculous. Johnny Depp's in it. He is not credited. And I love that about it.
Was Tusk pre-Nightmare or post?
Nightmare?
On Elm Street? Johnny Depp?
Wait, wait, is this a real question?
Yes. I've never seen Tusk.
Oh my god.
Actually, I suppose if it was Kevin Smith, it's probably post, huh?
Yeah.
right.
You confused the shit out of me for a second there. Tusk came out in 2014.
Holy fuck. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was at least 90s. All right, never mind.
No. 90s movies for Kevin Smith were Clerks and Mallrats, Chasing Amy. I believe Dogma, I want to say was 98 or 99.
Again, this is why we have this, because I have a very finite view of horror movies. Like, I watch what I watch and I don't really stray all that far. And here you are introducing me to some weird new shit.
So I'm not gonna,
like Pontypool.
I'm not going to go too deep into this because you need to watch Tusk. Tusk is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
That was a loud silence.
In every way, shape, and form. It is just what I will give you this to anybody listening who has no idea what Tusk is, doesn't know who Kevin Smith is, doesn't know anything like this about it at all. Kevin Smith is the podfather. Kevin Smith started, in my opinion, he is the reason podcasts are what podcasts are today. He said, I got shit to say. I'm going to get on a microphone. I'm going to fucking talk. So him and his producer, Scott Mosier, started Smodcast. The S stands for Smith. The M stands for Mosier. So Smith, Mosier, Smodcast. They started this. They introduced a bunch of series, bunch of different things, segments they would do, including one segment that they would bring back constantly, which was they would just go on to certain areas of Canada, have like their police reports just posted, and they would read the ridiculous police reports like moose attacks puppy, the RMPC went out and had to tase the moose, stuff like that. But they ended up getting into going to Canada has their own version of Craigslist, and they went onto Craigslist to try and find weird Craigslist, whatever it's called. I'm just going to call it Craigslist. Weird listings. They found one. This is real. They found one and read it on the air that a guy that lived in Canada was looking for somebody to live with him in his giant house for free. All they would have to do is some light cleaning, and once a week would have to wear a realistic walrus suit that he had built and walk around and act and sound like a walrus for a day, once a week. And they would have to live there for free.
Is this what birthed Tusk?
This is what birthed Tusk. So on the podcast, they just started kicking back and forth, like joking ideas like, could you imagine if they stitched him into the suit and blah, blah, blah. And then they built into this idea, and Kevin Smith was like, I have an idea. I think I should write a script. And he said, if I get enough people to hashtag on Twitter, walrus, yes, I will go forward with this. And within a week, he had started a treatment and was writing what ended up becoming Tusk. And he produced it. He put it out himself. He toured it, which was great. And then after he toured it, there was enough interest that it was able to hit a film circuit. So like a bunch of theaters got it. Unfortunately, New Hampshire sucks ass. So only one theater got it. And it was in Manchester, New Hampshire, which isn't the best area of New Hampshire. But I said, fuck it. And I went and saw it in theaters. And then I went 3 more times because what the fuck? And still to this day, there is one moment in the movie that makes my stomach drop because it is so disturbing. And it is just awesome.
Time to watch Tusk.
Yeah, it is his second horror movie. Red State was his first horror movie. And if you're into religious horror, this is the one to go into, especially seeing as it was Kevin's first delve into writing horror. And he said, yeah, I know there's tropes, but every time you think something's going to happen, I made a point to make sure I readjusted and went the opposite direction. Cool. So watching Red State, if you ever watch Red State, just don't expect anything, because if you're like, oh, this is going to happen. No, it's not. But yeah, so Tusk is number 8 for me. I fucking love Tusk. What is your number 8?
So my number 8, again, I said it would be funny because of the name, is Plan 9 from Outer Space. Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's nobody's favorite movie.
Dude, you're wrong. It's my dad's. Every single Halloween, we would do our haunted house in the backyard, and he would project it on the screen that we built between 2 of the trees out back, and we'd watch Plan 9 every single Halloween. Dude, we went to I think it was the 50th anniversary of this movie. It was being shown in theaters. I remember seeing a newspaper article about this. That's how fucking long ago and cool this was. And it was being projected live from California, where they were doing riff tracks. So MST3K live.
That's dope.
Of Plan 9 from Outer Space. I was a kid in middle school, early middle school, like fresh out of elementary, and I went to go see it dressed as Dracula. There is a picture of me as a kid dressed as Dracula on some person's Twitter out there in the world. Yeah. We went to go watch it and we had the best time. And now still to this day, like some of the jokes about how they were handling guns in that movie and like pointing them everywhere and just like, oh, Celtic, go see what's over there. And they would just go, peer, peer, peer. So every now and then we're just walking around and just going, peer, peer, peer. We quote it constantly. We had this was a whole Thanksgiving thing where we were talking about Plan 9. And I think it was The Force Awakens had just come out. And Kylo Ren's theme sounds oddly suspiciously like the theme from Plan 9.
Must have been intentional.
Dun, 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 dun. And that is pretty much Kylo Ren's theme. And my brother, my dad, and I were all sitting around the Thanksgiving table going, John Williams, you fucking thief. Dude, Plan 9 is tremendous. It's so bad. It's so good. I love Plan 9. It's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good story.
What is your number 9? See, I have some shit that you didn't know about. Me too, motherfucker.
Yeah. I've seen that movie a couple of times and I'm like, wow, this is
so bad. It's so good.
Terrible. But
dude, Ed Wood made shit movies that are so good. Bride of the Monster. Oh,
I like Bride of the Monster. It's a good one.
Yeah.
My number 9 is the Firefly trilogy. So that is House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. That's comfort food for me. I saw all 3 of those in theaters.
You got a weird diet.
Yeah.
I got a fucked up diet.
So it's a weird story, but I saw House of a Thousand Corpses in theaters when it first came out. I was dating a girl named Mary, and one of the main characters in that movie has the same name. And when Baby starts taunting her by saying her name, the girl I was dating at the time walked out of the theater. She's like, I can't do this. But yeah, I saw House, I think 3 times. I saw The Devil's Rejects 6 times in theaters, and I saw Three from Hell twice. And it was Three from Hell came out COVID time, all of that shit. So it was real strange because I saw it twice in theaters, and then it was like a week later, the Blu-ray and DVD were out, and I was just like, sweet. And Walmart had a box set that came with the t-shirt that one of the characters is wearing that just says Disco Sucks on it. And I was I fucking need this. So I bought it. And so I have a shirt that says Disco Sucks. But yeah, I love the Firefly trilogy. They're just great movies. They're fucked up, and 3 very different films with a really good cohesive storyline. I love the fact that House is basically just a really long Rob Zombie music video.
Yeah.
The best scene in that entire movie is when Otis kills the sheriff, and it's just that long silent camera pull out,
dude,
and it's just dead silent until the gun goes off, and his arms just drop like wet noodles and he falls over. Best moment in that movie. Devil's Rejects is just a fucked up Western, and I love it.
With a fuck ton of guns, baby.
Yeah. And Three from Hell is a mixture of both movies. It's fucking awesome. It's a Western again, but it's still like, it's got that the modern Rob Zombie who comes out on stage wearing a cowboy hat and fucking bell bottoms. Like, it's got that feel. And I just love the stories. There's a part of me that wants him to make a 4th, but there's another part of me that goes, if he does, it's going to suck and it will ruin everything. But the fact that 2 of them are still fucking kicking blows my mind. It's just like, I can't believe Baby and Otis are still out there just fucking doing what they want to do. So yeah, that is my number 9. What is yours?
My number 9 is Pet Sematary.
Ooh.
The good one. Specifically wrote the good one.
He's like 2000, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
So if I remember correctly, Pet Sematary was my first King movie adaptation I've seen. And the fact of it's got Fred Gwynn, it's got Herman Munster.
Yep.
Oh, we don't go down that road now. It's like, dude, to this day, Like, there are a few kills that make me squirm every time I see them. There's a kill from The Blob where the guy gets pulled by his stomach into a bookcase or a ladder, and he like bends backwards and pulled through. That
So
one
dope.
fucking skeeves the shit out of me. This one, where Gage is under the bed, slits his Achilles tendon. He drops down and slashes the webbing between his lips.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God.
Good
And
old
it's just
Chelsea
such
grin.
it's such a sad, dramatic, like, movie when the truck comes barreling down and all we see is a shoe fly out. You know what happened.
Oh, yeah.
And it also sounds like the fucking truck just wipes out and explodes halfway down the street. It's great. But dude, Pet
That kid
Cemetery.
was filled with gasoline.
It's a highly combustible child you got there. But no, like, Pet Cemetery, I don't want to see the remake. It's, again, one of those movies where I feel like it's going to ruin something for me.
Don't fucking do it. It is terrible. Terrible.
I'm not about it.
I was
I
rolling my
made the
eyes.
mistake. I made the mistake of watching the final scene, and it's like where everyone's some form of dead, creepy monster,
Yeah.
except the little boy.
It's fucking awful. Don't do
Yeah.
it.
I'm not about
I'm
it.
so pissed I watched it, but
So that is my number 9. Rob, what is your number 10? Your final top 10 favorite movie of all time?
I already mentioned the movie, and I've mentioned it quite a few times throughout the history of Spoiler Sleepover, but the Hellraiser franchise.
Ooh.
I didn't just say the first one because arguably I like all of them, even though the third one is not great. The third one is questionable. I mean, but as a whole, I love the continuing storyline of Pinhead. Doug Bradley's played Pinhead in all but 2 of the movies. There's, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I mean, I'm also including the Hulu movie as well, because in a way that they have connected that movie to the originals, even though the look is wildly different. The look is exactly what Clive Barker wanted. It's how he describes them in The Hellbound Heart. Now, if you haven't read The Hellbound Heart, which is what Hellraiser is based off of, Clive Barker wrote that. He also wrote Hellraiser. Like, he wrote the treatment. He did his own thing. The studio got involved and kind of fucked things up a bit, but the movies are great. The Hellbound Heart's fucking fantastic. It's an amazing read. The Hulu movie did more, like, described and showed what the descriptions from the book were, that they weren't all leather clad. This was more of their skin was used as suits. And I think it's just great. But yeah, I love all of the Hellraiser movies. Hellraiser was the first horror movie I ever saw. Without me stumbling upon that for free on TV in the fucking 90s, I don't know if we'd be sitting here talking, to be completely honest. But it absolutely formed me as a person and in my taste for the type of horror that I like. Because I feel like, for the most part, yeah, Hellraiser didn't make my top 3, but it did form a lot of what I find entertaining and horrifying and scary, and what I seek out when I'm looking for something that's gory or that has a good story. For example, like, to go back to Terrifier. I mean, the story is too much in the third one, but in the second one we get just enough. And Hellraiser did that perfectly. We get just enough without it being too much. And I love Hellraiser. But yeah,
I haven't seen any others besides the Hulu one and the first one. And the music in the first one is like, holy fucking shit. Like, the music is the bloody legend for me on that one.
Yeah. The music carries too. Honestly, like, through all of them, the music is, dude, it's fucking great. But that's officially my top 10. What is your number 10?
So my number 10 is actually going to be one of those things from out of left field again. It's 1944. It's like a comedy horror crime. Arsenic and Old Lace.
Ooh, you've brought this up before.
Fuck yeah.
I'm actually kind of not surprised at all that it's on here. I'm glad that you put it on there.
Dude, I religiously have watched this movie. Like every now and then I'll think about it. I'll go, fuck it, putting it on. And it's so funny. Like I use things from that movie in my everyday life and I didn't even note it.
Yeah.
It's got Cary Grant. It's got Peter Lorre. It's a tremendous movie. One of the actors, it was a stage show before, but like one of the actors is criminal on the run. He's murdered a bunch of people. And the Peter Lorre, the doctor, is a, plastic surgeon. So he fixes his face and every time. And he killed the last guy because he said he looked like Boris Karloff. Well, the reason because is Peter Lorre was a little drunk when he went to go see Frankenstein and then worked on his face after and then turned him into a little bit of Karloff looking. And that's called back so many times throughout the movie where it just pisses the character off more to where he just punches somebody in the face because of it. Dude, it's like I walked downstairs from my room and my parents were watching this on the TV. It just popped on. I was like, is that Boris Karloff? I would have got fucking punched in the face, but nope. So when I finally saw it all the way through, I was like, this is such a feel-good movie, and it's so unnerving at certain points because there's these two little sweet aunt characters who then practically get held hostage. And it's if you have not seen Arsenic and Old Lace, it's a feel-good horror, Halloween, comedy, crime. Dude, it's so good. I laugh every fucking time I watch that movie.
Well, so I feel like I must have at some point, but at the same time, I don't know. The old brain. Yeah. Yeah, we've gone through this. Certain synapses.
That is my top 10 favorite movies, horror movies, Halloween, comedy, crimes of all time. And just like that.
That's our top 10.
Yeah. And that's the end of, that's our wrap up. That's the end of season 2 pretty much. But seeing as we're on 39 episodes, it would seem like it's a shame.
Yeah.
Right, Rob?
Yeah. I mean, we're so close. I feel like if we didn't just go that one extra step, it would just be what are we edging the suckers? This isn't fucking fair. We've got to bring this to completion. And
your puns are getting worse, or innuendos.
All in your endo.
No.
So what do you think? 40?
Let's do 40.
Let's do 40. So guess
what?
Let's
do what?
Stick around, suckers. We're going to drop a 40th episode at some point. That's right. No, it's not next week. You have to fucking wait. Yes. And it's going to be something kind of special and something new because we didn't really do this with season 2 because once again, we were starting off. We've gotten this machine well oiled now and we know what we're doing. So
we're two oily dudes in a machine.
Yeah, buddy. Oh boy. In your endo.
Innuendo, my contender.
So for the 40th episode, we are going to introduce and break down season 3 and introduce to you what the theme is and the name. Yes.
And you're going to groan with us.
We are a season themed podcast. So each season will have a theme. Yes, this season was top 3 with slime. For some reason, I just like slime. So I said, hey, I'm going to do slime as an aesthetic.
There was a few slime moments. It's fine. The thing had plenty of slime.
But season 3 has a cohesive theme. The name, yes, the name of the season and what we will be doing all through the 3rd season go hand in hand. So, Jason Michael.
Oh, you mean the season name?
So I think we both came to an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Closing out here, we need to thank the most important people that exist, and that is the suckers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Every single one of you, every individual, every person who has tuned in week to week, every person who's waited and binged a month's worth at a time, everybody who's interacted with us on Facebook, on Instagram, people who have chatted with us, people who have given us suggestions, people who have asked for things, people who have sent us photos for us to post, people who have interacted and liked and rated the podcast. All of you, every single one of you, our sponsors, past and present, our family, our loved ones,
our guests.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Our guests. Thank you all. we would still definitely be doing this if you weren't there. But knowing that what we're doing is resonating and being enjoyed and being listened to in your cars, in your homes, on your hikes, on your walks, while you're at the gym, it means the world to both of us. I know I can speak for both of us in that. And we're really excited to bring you a third season and bring you on this journey with us. And we don't want you to let up. We want to hear more from you. And please don't forget, we're on here just talking movies. But at the end of the day, this is your podcast. If you want to hear specific things, let us know. If you want to come on, you can. Like, we will have you on. We want you on. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you. We want to see your faces. If you're uncomfortably on camera, but you want to talk, that's fine too. This is your podcast. Let us know what you want, and we will make it happen. So that is my little thank you to all of you. Jason, Michael, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
When we talk about some of the suckers out there, again, like people that, again, everybody's got busy lives, and it's like you said Chachi's catching up. I think of like Chachi as one of our main people. Again, he's one of our brand ambassadors. We got Seamus as an awesome sponsor. Anna for the first half of the season. Thank you very much. Yes. Like you are fantastic. Your baked goods are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
You need to go follow Vegan Curious.
Yeah, please.
Like, support them. It's a tremendous shop, a tremendous small business. Please go support Vegan Curious. And like, again, we gave him a shout out because he became Papa Cyrene. So he's been a little bit off the listening train, but he's back on it, and he's messaging us about every single episode. Mr. Cyrene, Ryan, it's great having you on. We will have you on, and we will talk about In a Violent Nature, which we've been talking about for probably also a good half of the podcast, or this season at least. So it's just, again, I mentioned them in the beginning of this episode, but all our guests, Dead Body Bathtub, Christine, Kristen, Dominique, it's just been fantastic. So
Chris O'Brocki,
thank you.
We cannot forget Chris O'Brocki. That's our returning and repeating. Like,
that's our third host.
Yeah. I'm going to throw a special thank you out to Josh as well, for putting us on his TikTok, for interviewing us.
Hell yeah.
It was amazing.
We had an outing as a podcast this season. Holy shit.
There's more to come too. So not only are we bringing you a third season, but next year you're going to have the opportunity to meet us in person. So stay tuned for that too. That's going to be crazy. I'm fucking amped for that. But thank you. Just seriously, thank you all so much. It means the absolute world to us. You do too. I'm not going to cry. We're good. I'm keeping it together.
Wah.
Yeah. Well, that is the end. That is the official end of Slime Season 2 of Spoiler Sleepover.
With a fun little 40th surprise coming at some point soon.
Yep. So keep your eyes peeled.
Baby.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that 40th announcement of what Season 3 is. Until 40th.
Sleep tight, suckers.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Spoiler Sleepover. But the fun doesn't stop there. Go follow us over on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And of course, check out our sponsor, GoreCloud, and use code SLEEPOVER for 15% off any Spoiler Sleepover merch. So until next time, sleep tight, suckers!
Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Gore Clown Shop.
Do you love all things horror? Books? Movies? Podcasts? Of course you do. Well, come on down to goreclown.com.
Original artwork by an indie horror fan for indie horror fans.
Use code SLEEPOVER at checkout to save 15% on your whole purchase.
Oh, and did we mention? Gore Clown is the only place to get official Spoiler Sleepover merch.
So don't forget to use Sleepover to save 15%.
Stay indie, suckers.